Hi, I'm Isaac. I'm here doing a review of OpenHands. This is part of my tool review series where I'm reviewing lots of tools, Gemini CLI, AMP, OpenHands. I'll be reviewing quite a few more. And for this task, I wanted to try OpenHands on a real task, just like all the others. And I had a static Quarto site, which is actually the site where I was sharing these reviews. And I wanted to convert it to be an app using Air that allows me a little bit more control, a little bit more ability to style it. This meant a few things. It uses a markdown type syntax, but it has extra features. It's built on top of Pandoc. And so converting it to markdown format, it had a few things. Had to migrate existing features or remove them. And we needed to move the static format to a full dynamic app. I use the Air library. That's a new web dev framework. That's a nice test right now of tools because it's not in the training data. There's very few apps that are published with Air. It's after pretty much all the model training cutoffs for when it was started. It's a nice little challenge. So here's what I did. I was pretty busy and I wanted to say one of these agents I want to be pretty hands off. I wanted to handle the mental load. And so I did voice dictation and gave it a stream of thought. This isn't the best practice for exactly how you want to prompt these agents to get the best results. But I was busy. I was trying to do to see if I could offload to this agent to see if I can ignore this task completely. So I wrote a simple prompt. I gave it a link to the Air docs because it wouldn't know how to use them and figured I'd see if it could just figure it out. It went through here and it made quite a few changes. It read through files. It did a bunch of fetches to look at the documentation, and it went and created a plan. Most of these agents create plans, and so that's great. And I can see ideas for creating a structure, creating components, creating pages, a design with separation of concerns. It kept going to tackle that. I saw it poked in, and I saw it going with a build step. I saw it going with a build step. I just prompted it not to do that. Say the CDN's totally fine for this use case. That's not usually recommended for production apps, but I just wanted to keep it simple. And it just went along. Eventually, it ran into an error where I couldn't view the app. It wasn't quite working. I prompted it. I pretty much immediately saw what the issue was because I can go in and look at the code here. I immediately saw as it was working what the problem was. And the problem was it was using this children equals argument. The reason I identified it that quickly is that basically every model makes this error at some point quite a bit with fast HTML's fast tags as well as Air's air tags, which are inspired heavily by fast HTML's fast tags. And so, yeah, this is my first time using OpenHands, but it's something that I'm used to looking for when working with this type of thing. I realized I didn't actually tell it to use HTMX, and I did want it to be an HTMX app, so I asked it to do that as well. I don't know if it was or wasn't doing that properly at the time. It might have been fine, but again, I was multitasking and wanted to see how well it handled just mostly on its own with some little bit of guidance. It kept going. I didn't look at all of this. I let the agent do agenty things. And after a while, it gave me this done message. And so this gave me links to things that I could look at. I could actually test it. I told it sometimes aren't rendering right, told it to use Daisy UI. It did a whole bunch of stuff and fixed it. I'm going to jump over. I did prepare some stuff, so you don't need to see me scrolling. And this kind of describes it. One of the issues was it tried to create this table of contents. This is a built-in Quarto feature. Obviously, Markdown doesn't have a table of contents by default rendering thing, so try to create one. It was functional. You could click it, you could jump to sections, but you can see on the right that it's not actually styled correctly. And so because of that, yeah, I decided I didn't need the feature. The table of contents wasn't something that was useful for this. Maybe I'll add it back in eventually, but I didn't want it. I didn't need it for any of the content that I had. And so I just asked it to remove the table of contents to resolve it. After that, It all looked good. I had the option to have it push straight to GitHub, do a PR, or download it. I decided to download it because I wanted to look at the code a little bit more and understand what it was and the capabilities. And I saw it had a virtual environment. I prefer UV, so I changed it. I don't think I had to. I wouldn't consider that a bug. I didn't, but per UV. The first like big, like real bug that I found was it had hard coded this direct absolute path. And this is to slash workspace slash air app. So this slash workspace, this is something specific to the OpenHands environment, and it wouldn't work on other environments. And so I changed that to be a relative path to fix that. So that was a bug that prevented it from actually working. And then I looked through and I saw there was some cases where it created some if statements to handle things and actually replicate some of the Quarto features that it did. I didn't want that. I wanted a more simple markdown format because I want to be able to just have a simpler thing. And yeah, I went ahead and changed that, got rid of it, just used the regular markdown content instead of there. Yeah, the key takeaway here, it was migrating the blog. It was pretty positive. It wasn't fully autonomous. I never really expect these things to be completely hands off where I don't have to think at all or do anything at all. I always hope they will be, but I don't know that we're there yet. But the agent did pretty much all the heavy lifting. I gave some guidance, I made some small corrections here and there, but I didn't put much effort into the prompting. I didn't put much effort into a requirements document. I stream of thought gave it. I checked in every now and then and gave it some more thoughts while I was doing other things. And yeah, this was definitely a task that it saved me time on, it saved me energy on. I was able to do other things while I was doing this. So it's a very pleasant experience, and I think it was really helpful. So thanks so much.